Alrighty, there we go. Just forgot that we need to unmute. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a good day. The disclaimer is right there that this is for educational and instructional purposes only. This is just a method of demonstrating the product that we will be presenting today, which is the full package of the UFOs, including its autoclimate, which is a proprietary and patented technology. So let's go ahead and get started with the session for today. I'm just going to get this out of the way here. So what are we doing today? Well, we will be looking at some trades for both crypto and forex trades, looking to get to expand on our knowledge from previous sessions. We're looking to combine several elements of the market and take them as they come to us. What does that mean, right? That's loftier said than done. That just means that we're going to be looking at proprietary indicators that we have along with um, common indicators that are readily available on just about every platform out there. Some of those indicators, and I just realized that it's actually missing here, right there. Let's go ahead and add it. Some of those indicators that I just mentioned that are, as I said, patented, as you saw even on here, right? It's right there. Is the auto UFOs. Now, the auto UFOs are not unmistakably named auto UFOs just because they do look a little bit like flying saucers, as you can see right here. That's represented by these differently colored flying saucers, which represent unfilled orders. So UFOs, right? UFOs. That just stands for unfilled orders. And of course, they're automatic because they do show up automatically on your chart. You don't have to chart them yourself. So looking at our charts here, we do see that we have a couple of different things here. We do see that we have the auto UFOs on both the bottom chart, which is the hourly, as well as the 15 and the 21-minute charts up above. We put the auto UFOs on all three of those charts because we want to see representation of different time frames and where those unfilled orders may be. On top of that, though, we do have something that's known as the auto climate, which is right here down below. The auto climate gives us an indication of where that market might be heading towards. And when we say where, we really do intend that in the sense of the directionality. So if we do see a blue uh, thick dot like the ones here, we're expecting um, an upward movement. However, if we see a thick red dot, that means we are expecting downward movement. Now, thin dots, like the ones next to here, are essentially representing indecisiveness in the market. So what that would mean is we should just look somewhere else. So when we do have a thin dot in the auto climate, that just means that we should be looking for elsewhere for a trade. Bottom line, we are looking to execute trades today. Of course, if you do want to learn a little bit more about the software and a little bit more about the program that we offer, that can all be through the website, which you can go to, which is tradewithufos.com/Boyan. That's the link that you can go to get the software package that we're looking at here. And of course, there are free trials. There's all kinds of good stuff that you should check out there. Ultimately, though, let's see what we can come up with as far as trades for today. So the first thing that we are looking at right here is the dollar yen. We're looking at the 1 hour chart down below to give us permission to look to trade because we do have that permission. We have a confirmed climate, right? So this is confirmed. It's a thick red dot, which means we are looking for trades to short to go to the downside. Now, obviously, somebody comes in here and tells you, hey, yeah, just look for some trades, look for shorts. You're going to go to your drawer and look for shorts, right? No, you're going to be asking the next question is where do I get in and where do I get out? right? That should be the automatic next question when somebody says, well, I feel like this is going to go down. Okay. What does that translate into real actual information? Real actual information here is given by the auto UFOs. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, auto UFOs are proprietary patented technology. So that's not something that's on every platform out there on the world, right? It is, however, in TradingView right now here, it's on NinjaTrader, it's on our own platform, which is Top. Um, and of course, we are looking to expand on other including MT4 and MT5. Um, but what we need to do now is we need to answer the question of where do we get in and where do we get out? Right now, we need to see that we do see that there are a couple of UFOs that are near current price. However, in order to determine if that's where we're going short at, we need to combine two elements of trading. And in this scenario, the first element is the um, common indicator that we see on the common time frame here, which is the 1 hour time frame down below. And what is the common indicator that we're going to utilize? That is the 9 exponential moving average. As you see the blue line underneath here on the chart, that is the 9 exponential moving average. What's going on here? There it is. It is the 9 EMA, this blue line that you see right here, also represented by this number right here. Okay. That is the 9 exponential moving average. This is a very common indicator. As a matter of fact, it should be on every platform out there that allows for any sort of charting. So what we do is we figure out, okay, where is the 9 exponential moving average and where does it overlap in any of these charts up above? Do we see an overlap with a UFO? That is the question that we need to be asking ourselves. Oops, sorry about that. Right now, our moving average being at 146, 154, we see that that moving average would be right here in the middle of this UFO here, and also right in the middle of this, actually towards the start of this UFO up above. So that means, ladies and gents, we do have a trade. So let's go ahead and get that put on here. So the first thing, I'm just gonna take this out of here so it's easier to get going on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna right click here and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? My paper trading connected? Okay, there we go. Sorry, they must have changed something here. So we're going to, instead of that, we're just gonna, I used to like the chart trading there. Okay, there it was. That's what they did different. 146.033 is our price of entry. And why is 146.033? Well, that's because that's where this UFO and this UFO begin. Okay. Even though the moving average is inside of this UFO, right? It's overlapping. We need to take the higher chance of this trade triggering rather than the lower one. Could you take it higher up here at 146.239? Sure. But just like all things with trading, it's all about the data you have. And if your data says that deeper in the UFO is where you have more success, then by all means do that. Just definitely record how much of a difference that will make in overall trading. All right, 146.033 being our entry. We see that the top of this UFO is 146.438. However, we do see that we have an overlap here, right? Because we need to now put our stop, our T1, and our T2. Our T2 is going to be the first opposing UFO. And the first opposing UFO on this large, common time frame, the 1 hour time frame, is way down here, 145.359. However, our stop needs to be up here, above the UFO that we're entering on. And right now, even though we're entering on this red UFO, we see that there's an overlap. So that means there's a likelihood that price, if it were to rally, it could also go up to this UFO and then start falling down. So accounting for that, we're going to take this area as 1, and we're going to be putting our stop above this 146,538. All right. Just to make sure that everybody's following along, I'm going to do this, you know, right in front of you here. So we're going to be putting our entry is at 146.33. 033, I'm sorry. Our stop is going to be above 146,538, and I'll get you the right exact number that we're going to be putting on here. I'm sorry, guys. Looks like my headphones cut out for a second there. I'm back though. So we were getting to the point where we're going to be entering this trade. So since we're going, going short, we're going to go ahead and put in our stop. Now the stop, what we do is we round it up. Now obviously we don't have to round up for the dollar yen to the extent that we do with most other instruments, because some of them have 4 to 5 decimal points. Given that the yen is only 2, we just have to round up 1. So we're going to round this down to 146.03. The stop loss is going to be, as we said, 146,538. Now we're going to round this up to 54, and we're going to add 7 pips. So that's going to go to 61. All right, so that means we're at 57 pips for T1 and stop loss. Now, something that I really love about TradingView is the fact that you can put the expiration in on this one. Something that is just additional power when it comes to our auto UFOs is the fact that you can actually kind of time this a little bit better, I would say, than most software out there. And that is the fact that we can time down what we think is the highest probability for this trade. And given that this is on the first one, out of typically 7, as we see here, right? STD is the standard deviation down. So the down climate standard deviation is 7, which means we have 6 more hours to make sure this trade works. All right, so let's go ahead and put that trade on. And given that we have 6 more hours, we're going to make this last until, let's say, today. And by me, it's 6:16. So 6 more hours will be 12. So let's give it until 1 p.m., which will be 1300. Okay, so we're going to be, let's just set this to an even 150. And again, this all depends on based on your account, right? So if you were to have, in the paper trading account, there is 6137. So if you wanted to take this trade, and again, remember, we're going to have 2 legs on this trade. So if you had 6137 in your account, you want to risk, 2% per trade, you would really need to set this to 75, or actually close to 70, not even. So we could just set this to 1%, right? So we're risking 1% of the account, given how much we have in the balance. Okay, so just kind of be aware of that. I, as a rule of standard, I always do 150. But naturally, in a real life event, you should be going with what the percentage tells you. I would definitely say do not risk more than 2 to 3% per trade at any time. All right, so let's go ahead and put this trade on. There it is. And now for leg 2, we're going to do the same thing, 146.030. Stop loss stays the same, 146,600. I'm sorry, that was supposed to be 61 if I'm not mistaken. Why did it go to 60? Let's modify that. That was supposed to be 61. I really remember that for some reason. So let's set that right, modify that, make sure, we got to be um, very precise with that. Okay, and then of course, now we're selling it again. So 146.030. Take profit, stop loss. So stop loss stays the same, 61. Now our take profit 2 is fairly close to take profit 1. And that makes this trade a little bit less of an R to R, but it's still a valid trade because it's more than 1-to-1. All right, so 145, 359, 145, 359. Now, of course, we have to round this up as well. So that's 36. And we're going to add 2 more pips just because this is how markets are in Forex, right? They're decentralized. And given that this is the same, kind of a 152.63, we'll just keep it the same so it's an equal leg. And same thing, this one will expire by 1 o'clock. Now, of course, if that changes, right, if we do get filled on this trade, then we're going to have to adjust. All right, that's the trade. Okay, and I'm just going to take a quick screenshot. This is what was the issue. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick screenshot here, just so we know that this is what we're doing here. Actually, there's one thing missing here, just because I know what TradingView will do, and I do like having things on TradingView. I like to put in a horizontal line where my T2 is. I'm sorry, my T1. So at 45, I'm just going to put a little bit above it and make this a purple dashed line. And then I'm just going to add an alert on it. Anytime it touches it, I just wanted to say T1 for USD JPY. All right, and that's going to expire. I'm going to put it August 30th at 1 o'clock. All right. It's really important to keep these things, just because on TradingView, when this trade triggers, and let's say not when, but let's say if, because we don't know what we don't know, but when this trade triggers, it'll actually cancel out your T2. For some reason, TradingView just still does not have double-legged entries available to it to track properly. So what you have to do is just kind of set an alert for yourself. Obviously, that's if you're executing on TradingView. I would not recommend that just because of that. What I would recommend is definitely executing on a different platform, or even preferably on your phone. That just makes life a little bit easier. All right, so looking at this right here, so at 61, so we have 6,700. We're risking 4% technically on this trade, so 146.030 is the entry. Our profit level is at 145.45, and our stop is at 146.030. All right, that's kind of what this trade is looking like, except something went wrong. 140. Six oh 30. Oh no, that's what it is. 146.610 is our 146.610. That's what it was. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So that's our T1, our first position. And I'm just gonna put it here so we know that, what were we looking at what point of time when we were looking at this trade. So we have a clear picture when we look at our screenshots, we look at our videos, we look at what we've done for the day, and Everything's all good. So let's go ahead and save that, 2023-08-30. And that is USD JPY setup. Okay, let's go ahead and take that screenshot, and there we go. All right, so that's that for this one. If there aren't any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and continue on. Not seeing anything in the chat here, so just to kind of reiterate, we are taking this short. We're taking the let's just move this out of the way. We're taking the dollar yen pair to the short side. Our entry is at 146.030. Stop is at 146.610. T1 is at this 145.45 area, and T2 is 145.38. So that's our overall setup, mainly because, again, our indicators are saying that this is the way to go, and that's why we're taking it to that side. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and continue down our list, right? We do have a trade that we set up on a Forex pair. Let's see if we can do something similar with crypto, given that there was quite a bit of news yesterday with Grayscale's win to get themselves to be one of the first ones, potentially the first one, that's going to have a ETF granted. So let's see if we can capture something with Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin right now on the hourly, we see that it is an unconfirmed climate. So that means we don't have any trades to put on right now. Everything has been unconfirmed, right? The time when the this massive move happened from the 26s to the 27,000s, right there. It was on the second, and as you see, we did have an indication of an up climate. So if you did end up capturing this move, you would have grabbed this entire section here. Of course, that's not to say that that's going to happen every time. But what I'm trying to say is that when it does happen, right, a move like this makes all the difference. So let's take a look at the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin and see if we have anything. So the 4-hour is still giving us an upward climate, which means that is, permission to look for longs. However, before you go any further, right, we need to see that we are currently on the 6th 4-hour candle out of typically 6. So that means this is the last 4 hours where our probabilities are the highest. I'm not sure what happened with my timer here, but there should be a countdown timer of how much time is left on this candle. It's essentially close to an hour and a half, I believe, that we have left on this one. So again, it's not exactly the most likely of scenarios. It's not the most probable of scenarios, but if it's something that we want to take a look at, we certainly can. And the way we do that is we adjust our time frames above, but as you see right here, we actually don't have anything to take this trade on. The move is still towards the downside here at 26,000. That's where the nearest buy UFO is. All right, this candle was a fair straight shot up. So that was that. For this one, let's see if we have any other movers that may be acting differently. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Pretty much a standard picture there. Any outliers that may still be going towards the upside. Go back to the hourly. Okay, we do have a confirmed climate on the hourly on horizon. All right, let's see how that's looking here. Our moving average is at 7.777, but the nearest UFO, so our moving average is really right here. But the nearest UFO is down here, except we do actually have a UFO. How about that? That's on the 15-minute, which actually works with this one here. So we could take a trade up here at the 7815 area, 817, 814 area. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. So we could see a potential trade here. 7814 is the top of this UFO. So that would be our entry. We do have a confirmation of the climate, so we see no reason why not to get in this trade. So 7814. So let's go ahead and put that on. We're going to be buying 7.814. Take profit, stop loss. Again, same thing, 150. This is entirely up to you what you want to do with your account. Again, it's just to demonstrate what we're doing here. Our stop is going to be at 7618. 7.618. We're going to give this 20 cents to the downside. So this will be 598. Okay, so that means our T1 is at 8.03. Time in force, that is going to be a great question. We're on the first one out of typically 6 hours. So good until today. And a very similar scenario to earlier until 1300. So that's our T1. And now for our T2, our take profit is different. It is at 8.655, which matches with this opposing UFO down here. Right? And that's all we do. We just hit buy again. And it looks like the trade did trigger, or at least one of them did. We'll see if both do. Okay, it looks like they both did. And as you saw it right here firsthand, right? TradingView does not have the capability of having multiple exits. So I'm just going to move this to the top side here to, it was at 8.655. Modify. So what I have to do here is essentially manually take my 8.03, which is why I put that horizontal line here. At 8.03. All right. And then I add an alert. That's going to expire August 3rd, 30th at 1300. Okay. Set. And then, and this is Zen USDT T1. All right. So there we go. We do have it set up now. I just want to take a quick screenshot of this, and I'm actually going to put a text here just so we know that that's our T1 right there, just so we know what we got going on. All right, take a screenshot. 2023 0830 Zen USDT, and this is the entry. All right, that's sort of that for this setup. Obviously, we got filled. Looks like price is moving along. This one was green while everything else is red, and that's the reason why I picked it. Usually, if there is some strength in these, if the rest of them turn around, those will be an even stronger move. Typically, again, it doesn't always happen. It's not a crystal ball type of scenario. A very similar kind of movement from the rest of these. It's not uncommon to see this. Sometimes you'll see Bitcoin leading the charge and being the, the primary, being the headline maker for different things. And then sometimes you'll see altcoins moving quite rapidly, quite powerfully, even if Bitcoin is not doing anything. All right. Switching it back, we can go back to some of the minor pairs and see if we have something there. And this is what I really like about the software and the package that we have. It is really easy to determine whether or not you have a trade just from one look, right? You just look it down here and you say, okay, I have a trade. I have permission to look for a trade rather. I don't have a trade yet, but I have permission to look, right? Because a lot of times when you'll see something that's, unconfirmed, or if it's too late, then you're like, okay, I don't need to bother, right? Right here, I don't need to bother. 6 out of 6, don't need to bother. Next, right? First one out of 6, okay, definitely look. There's a bit of movement there. All right, so if there's no preference, I'll just, pick any one of them. I just want to see the trade that we did put on earlier. The order was on dollar yen. So I'd like to take a trade on an unrelated pair, like the Euro Aussie maybe. Okay, looks like it's popping up. We have the hour down here. We have the 21-minute and the 50-minute up above. We have a moving average at 168, which is 168. That's right within this UFO. Guys, we're getting a little lucky today. Let's go ahead and set this up. So let's go ahead and trade this. So we're going to sell the 1.68015 is the overall here. Now, of course, we're going to round this up. So we're going to put this at 6802. Okay. Our stop loss is going to be above these here, the 68,392. So 1.68392. So round this up to 40. Wait a minute now. Yeah, 40. We're good. That's 38 pips. 38 pips. Time in force. Very similar scenario. They're all gonna expire at 1300 today. Risking 150. All right, and we have our trade setup 6802. Sorry, this was supposed to be rounded down, not up. So 6801 is what it's supposed to be. At 150 risk. T1, T2 is at 40. That's what it was. I was like, something's not adding up here. We're supposed to round down to make sure we capture entry. So let's go ahead and sell that as well right there. And now let's do it one more time. Our T2 is way down there, 65, which again, we do have trail stopping rules. It's not just wait and hold until it gets all the way down there. There's other rules in place. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll share my contact info one more time, 6566. We round it up, which again, this is rounded, and we add 2 pips to make sure we don't get pulled away. All right, and that's our trade. Now, before it runs away from us, we're going to go ahead and put a 1.6762. That's our T1, which on any platform that you do execute on, you just close half the position at market once it touches around this area. I would have preferred if we can all do all this, but you know, I think I've asked it at least 3 or 4 times to get, you know, to be able to do 2 legs. But you know, that's bar close. That's trading view. All right, let's go ahead and take this screenshot. Save it, 2023, 0830. Euro, Aussie, setup. Boom. It's that quick once you kind of get used to it and practice it a lot. It really is that quick. It's nothing more, nothing less than that. Just the way it goes. With with practice, you can definitely get better and better at this. When you look at it visually, when something feels wrong, and then you realize it is wrong. We only rounded up here. We did not add 7 pips for the stop. So this is really 91. This one stays the same because that's the one down below. So our stop is at 68.01. We just need to add 7 pips to this, so which is 9. I'm sorry, 8. Yeah, wait a minute now. What's happening here? 684. I'm like, what is going on here? So we need to add 6840. So when we add 7 pips for the stop, that becomes 46 pips. That's why I was like, what's going on here? This one stays the same because that's our T2. That's 6568 down below. So we're good. And then we're just going to modify this order to match the same. Our stop needs to be at 6847. And now we modify the T1 to 150 risk. There we go. That was much better. Caught it before. We have to change this to 150 as well. Much better. Okay, now we're good. Okay, just gotta make sure because sometimes you see things on the setup and then you see them being set in front of you visually. I'm like, something's wrong, and I can tell. So better to fix it than pretend like it didn't happen, right? So let's go ahead and save that screenshot too. This is the Euro Aussie setup. Just changed it to the way it's supposed to be. All right, that's that for today, folks. If there's any questions, I'll leave the last 2 minutes for any questions. We set up 3 trades today. And of course, if you have any questions, boyan@tradictive.com is my email. And of course, if you want to go to the website, it is tradewithufos.com/Boyan. That's the link where you can get the software, get the package, and be able to go through things. Just going to open up the chat here down below to check on any questions, any comments, and then we'll go from there. Okay, well, it's been my pleasure to present for you guys today. Thank you for those of you that watched the live, those who are watching this recorded. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will catch you next time. Thank you so much. Take care.